everyone. Welcome to the latest event in our coach education program. Today, we're joined by Harry Cosson, Coach Cosson, who works at La Manga Club and works at some local clubs in Spain as technical director and is the UEFA licensed coach. Today, Harry's going to go through an interactive event which is going to help you design practices and sessions around your style of play. So welcome to Harry. Hope you're well, Harry.
Yeah, cheers, Stu. Just quickly, as a start off, thanks everybody for joining in. Today I'm going to try and make this as interactive as possible. So I know a lot of webinars are, one directional and it ends up getting a little bit tedious. So we're going to try and keep everybody involved. The way to do so, open your chat if you can, okay, and just write in. Just to get familiar with the chat, we're going to try and design a couple of sessions, practices inside a session, okay, related to the style of play. So just quickly, okay, write in what age group in the chat, write in what age group are you currently working with or you last worked with, just so I get a feeling of what age groups we're dealing with. Okay, fantastic. And the 12s and the 14s. And the 9s and the 16s. Okay, Naomi. Awesome. And 11s. Okay. 7s and women's. Okay, hi David. Hi Naomi. Hope you're well. And the 7 and the 16. Fantastic. Awesome. So anybody working with seniors? So anybody working with 18s or older than 18? Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so moving on from that, now I've got a feeling of more or less we're most going to focus on youth. So what we're going to do today is we're going to think about our style of play, and we're going to design a practice, okay, inside our session, which encourages our style of play, okay? So first thing I want you guys to do is think about your style of play, okay? So how would you describe that? So in the chat, how would you describe your style of play to a 5-year-old, okay? So try and think about it. Take a minute or two, okay, and think about how you would describe your style of play to somebody who's 5, 6, or 7 years old. Okay, I want you to try and write it in the chat if you can. Take your time. Just think about, obviously, there's a lot of complexity in a style of play. So if you've got a group of 6s, 7s, I see a few of you got 7s. How would you make it as simple as possible for those players to understand the style of play that you want them to bring out on the pitch? Okay, if you don't have a style of play, that's fine. Just throw it in there as well. I don't currently have a style of play. Okay, just so I get a feeling of what styles of play, how you guys and girls think about, introducing a style of play when you're dealing with groups. As short as possible, okay? Keep it tight. Don't go too long. Okay, in your description, maybe 1-2 sentences is max, maybe long balls, shooting from everywhere. I like 1v1s, down the wing, anything. Just simple basics of your maybe offensive style of play or maybe your defensive style of play. 2 or 3 words related to your style of play. Who's going to be the first one? Who's going to be brave enough? Forward thinking like that. Forward thinking. Attack base with width. Awesome, David. Fantastic. Cool. So positive thinking. Attack base. So we're going to focus on keeping the balls for most part of the game. Good. Moving the ball through the team as quick as possible. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So we're not going to might be limiting touches in our practice. Awesome. Okay. If we need width, already thinking about now in our practice that, we can't reduce the space too much, because if we reduce the space too much, we're not allowing the players to gain width. Awesome. Good. Any more? Come on, jump in. There's no mistakes. You can't make any mistakes in this. Okay, it's just to get everybody thinking. And before we go into think forward, look forward, play forward. I love that. Love it. Think forward, look forward, play forward. Good. Like to keep the possession, to play forward. Okay, in the attacking areas quickly. Okay, so mostly focus on offensive play. Awesome. Okay, who can give me a strategy for a group of 7s, 8s, 9s? Okay, defensively. All right, so now we're going to think of defending. So think about how you would describe your style of play, what you want the players to do when they haven't got the ball. Even if it's 1 or 2 words, I don't care, just take part, okay? There's no mistakes. Focus more on dribbling as much as you can. Think forward, dribble to pass. Cool, okay, some more offensive play there. So everybody's thinking about being positive, being very attacking orientated. Try to stay together as a team like that, Naomi. Awesome. More words. Even if you haven't got a sentence in you, just give me some words. Defensive play, words that we could use with younger age groups. Good attitude to win the ball, back and score. Fantastic. Attitude, massive. Okay, so a few psychological aspects going in as well. Okay, last couple before we jump into start creating the session. Good attitude to win the ball. Good. Positive. Okay. All right. Always positive. I love the positive thinking we've got in this group. Work together as a team. Cool. Awesome. Right. We're going to jump on to creating and designing that practice. Okay. So what we're going to do is, first of all, this is Tactical Pad. Okay. This is a tool that was used in Football DNA, used on a few different websites as well. Quite easy to use. If anybody at the end, wants a little bit know more about the tool, just use the Q&As that we're going to do at the end to join in. Right. So we're going to first of all, we're going to focus on a style of play. So most of you said positive. Okay. Most of you said, I like the bit of width in there. I like the fact that we're enhancing dribbling. Okay. So we're going to try and design a practice now where we're focusing on those 3 or 4 factors. So the first thing we've got to think about is our space. All right. So if we first think about our pitches, so what size pitch we're going to use? I've got various size pitches here. But if we're going to think about attacking, the first thing we need is a goal and a direction that we're going to go in. Okay. So do we want one team to attack, or do we want both teams to attack? Okay, just answer. We want both teams to focus on their attacking, or we want one team to focus on our attacking? So before we choose our pitch, we need to design our direction. Compact if possible. So write in, do we want one team or 2 teams? What age? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to design a drill, and then we're going to adapt it at the end, okay, towards different age groups. Because using the same drill, I believe you can condition it and make it easy enough for a 6-year-old and as difficult enough for a 17 or 18-year-old. And if not, we're going to try and adapt it and see what we would change. Okay, so we're just going to think about the age group between, let's say, 10s and 16s, okay? We're thinking about 10s to 16s, all right? So anybody who's under 10, under 16s, and we're thinking about, we want width, we want positive thinking, we want dribbling, okay? And we want players to obviously end up attacking. So the objective is for them to create chances at the end of the day. If they're not creating chances, then we're not doing our job. So both teams can score, okay? So we've got both teams to score. So if we want both teams to score, we need 2 directions. So we're going to choose square box, okay? Everybody can create a square box with their cones or markers or flat markers, okay? And we need 2 goals. Are we going to go for 1 goal at each end? Are we going to go for, so how much attacking do we want? We're going to go for 1 goal at each end. Do we want 2 goals at each end? Do we want 3 goals at each end? So if I put 1 goal at each end, for some reason this has changed color. That's a first. If I put 1 goal at each end, Okay, do I get more or less chances at shooting and attacking? Answer, what do you think? If I put one goal at each end, more or less opportunity to have a shot at goal? Less options. Okay. How could I create more shooting opportunities? Depends on the numbers. I like that. Good. Depends on the numbers. Fantastic. So because if it's a 1v1, there's going to be a lot of shooting opportunities. Fantastic. Like that, Stu. Good. Okay, so if we're going to 2 goals at both ends, I like that. Okay, if I put the goals like this, so I decide, okay, I'm going to add in 2 goals. So for some reason, let's put a new addition. So if I had another goal up at each end, like this, okay, and I position them in this way, what am I going to create? So we've got 2 goals like this. What am I going to create? What are the 2 teams going to do? Just by adding 2 goals rather than 1 and locating them there, what am I going to... Okay, so it's going to be switch sides. Okay, so it's going to be options. Okay, fantastic. But let's try and relate it to our style of play. We said before that we wanted 1v1s, we want positive, we want width. Okay, so if we create opportunities for players to score in wide positions, they're going to get more into these areas, which at the end of the day, if we're focused on, we want our players to have width, then this setup will help the players open up and try and find those pockets. But my one question is, are we taking away too much reality from the game? So what stops the players from saying, okay, well, if you do that, we're all going to just bunch up in front of the 2 goals and we're just going to leave a massive space in the middle. So how can I stop that from occurring? Because players are clever, you know, when you get to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, they just say, okay, well, I don't use the central. And then we take away the reality of the game. So how can I avoid players saying to me, okay, well, we're just going to defend the width. We're not going to defend the centre. And hang on a minute. If we just defend the width and the goal's normally in the middle at the weekend, is this being beneficial to me? How could I avoid the players doing that? What could I add to this setup to make them also go down the middle without using goals? We can put number of passes, 1 goal. Okay. Like that, Natalie. More. Remember what we want? We want width. We want to have possession of the ball. We want to be positive. Okay, so we've got the width. Can you say again? I lost the voice. So we've got the width now. So we've got 4 goals. This is going to create width in our drill. But if we create a lot of width, then the players are clever and say, okay, well, we don't defend the middle. And number 1 rule of defending is do not let the players down the middle. Okay, so how can we avoid that from happening? How can we set a goal to keep players more central? We had a goal in the middle. Okay, I'm going to take that way. I'm going to take that one away. Okay, so no more goals can be added. We can't add any more goals. Virtual lines. Not 100% Mark what you mean by virtual lines. Right, so if I add, for example, we can add a player between the goals. I like that. We can place players both ends. Okay. Right, so we can place both ends. Okay, so if I set a target player, All right. So let's just create here a zone. Let's just say in the middle here. In there. Okay. So set a zone in there. And equally, a zone in here. Okay. Slightly disproportional. Don't know what's going on there. But everybody they're supposed to be the same size. Okay. Right. And we had a player in at each end. Okay. What objectives could we give the team for them to focus on this player? What objectives? So there's a player in each zone at the end, central. Okay. What rules and regulations could we give to our team to say they have to protect this player? Why do they have to protect this player? Think forward pass. Awesome. So we're introducing something related to our style of play, which is forward passing. Awesome. Great. Link up. So they have to link up before they can score in either of the two goals. Love that. Okay, so we're just going to add the amount of players that we want now. So what do we want? A 5v5, 6v6? If we're thinking about under 10s, under 12s, under 16s, we're probably thinking about 16 players. So we don't want to leave anybody out, and especially like a practice like this. So we're just going to add in a few numbers. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. One each side. Got number 9. Okay, so that's 7. One more player at the back. Okay. Good. And let's go the opposite team. Additional points gained if you use this player. I love that. More. Come on. While I set up. What else? Give me some rules and regulations. Related. Just think about it. It has to be related to the style of play. Okay. Sometimes we can condition drills and they move further away from our style of play than they do get close to. Number 9 is one touch. Okay. For example, okay. So if number 9 is one touch, is that going to enhance dribbling? So another question I would ask, do we want number 9 in here all the time? Okay. Does number 9 have to be in here all the time? Okay. Maybe number 9 is accustomed to being here, but do I want him just standing here at the end, maybe getting cold? How could I now adapt the drill for number 9, both number 9s to be involved in this area and outside of this area, for example? Remember what we've got. We want dribbling, we want forward thinking, we want positivity, and we want to create chances. Okay, so right now we've got the width. Okay, players are going to spread out no matter what. Okay, because they obviously want to score. If I say you have to play, he can also score. Rotate players when a pass is played in. Okay, I like that. Okay, so player passes in here. So if number 8 had the ball, and he plays it in, he has to then go in, and number 9 comes out. Cool. I like that. Awesome. He can't stand still in the area. Okay. All right. Can't stand still in the area. Don't mind that. Becomes a floating player. Yep. Yeah, okay. We could put bibs on these two as well. But just remember, when we condition and limit drills, sometimes we go further away from what we're trying to gain. Okay. And meaning we want things to occur as many times as possible related to our style of play. Now, if I, for example, want to enhance forward playing, if I want to enhance width, if I want to enhance 1v1s and dribbling, Okay, because we said that we wanted to enhance dribbling 1v1s as well, because everybody loves watching Grealish. Why? Because he dribbles. Why is he the player that created most chances this league in the Premier League? Because he takes players on. Fantastic. If I limit the touches in this drill and say, right, number 9's got 1 touch and everybody else is on 2 touch, what do I gain and what do I take away from the drill? What would I gain from that? And what would I take away from the drill? So limited touches. What do I gain from limited touches? But also, what do I take away from using limited touches? What are the advantages and disadvantages? Plenty of passing, but less dribbling. Lack of dribbling. Cool. Okay. I agree. More. What else? Maybe more mistakes. Yeah, okay. Could you extend the end area across the pitch and add a defender so there's a 1v1, but also the team can still pass into number 9 and combine for a runner to make 2v1? Yep, I could extend the pitch, yep. Add the defender so there's a 1v1, but also the team can still pass into number 9 and combine. Okay, so you would leave number 9 in that zone as well? Or are we going with swap over? I like that. So we add zones on at the end, meaning easily there's a lot of opportunity we have throughout drills to say, hang on a minute. Obviously, the less length this has, the less space they're going to have to progress. Okay, so if I can add on an area at the end here and add on another area at the back here, okay, drop the goals a little bit deeper. Okay, we might have a 1v1 zone here in the middle. I like that. Good. Now, going back to adapting, we said limited touches because everybody loves to limit touches. I mean, people do it in rondos as well. Play into number 9 with forward pass. Yep, they're all great ideas. The thing is, do they link up to what we want in our style of play? Okay. What rules and conditions would you do in this drill? Okay, we're going to leave it as it is because I want to do another drill as well. Hopefully we've got the time. So what limitations and conditions do I want to put in this drill for it to relate directly to my style of play? Okay, we said it once again. We said we want 1v1s, we want forward thinking, we want to create chances, and we want width. Okay, what conditions and limitations would we put on this drill to make those things occur as often as possible? To score, you have to win a 1v1. Okay. What about if you're scoring the goals? You have to think about, we can use more than one objective. So we can score in the goals, or we could do another objective in here. So they could have 2 objectives. Players assigned to 1 player only. We can put rules. If you have any 1v1, then get 1 point. Okay. So if you beat someone, what happens? This is a question for Hakan. A 1v1 is going forward or backwards? What if I come backwards here and take the ball and beat this player but go backwards? Would that count as a goal? Would it not? Is it only forward? Only forward. I like that. Good. Important. Okay. 1 is retaining possession. So if I beat this player and he gets into a position, now number 7's in a better position than number 8, even though he's beaten it, but he's gone towards his own goal. A lot of players do this now. They think that they're beating a player, but really they're just maintaining possession. And number 7's happy because he's got into a position now which number 8 has to go backwards or sideways. Good. Can't dribble backwards. Okay. Can't dribble backwards. Good. That enhances. Fantastic. I like it. Good. What about if we took number 9 and number 9 out of their end zones and just said, okay, if anybody dribbles into here, Don't know what's going on with this today. Okay, that's what I wanted. Right, so if they dribble into that zone, okay, so if any player dribbles into this zone, they get a point. Okay, so now 9 has the freedom. He's also closest to the zone. Okay, and we're enhancing him to, if he's got space, receive the ball, turn and dribble forward. Which in the comprehension of what a number 9, if he's got space down the middle, we'd rather he go down the middle than wide. Yeah? So what if I said that instead of 1 goal and 1 goal, it's 2 goals if you can dribble in here, and it's 1 goal if you score in the empty net. Okay? So we enhance players to the difficult option, okay, which would be dribbling down the center, which would take them more time. So it would give more time for the defenders to get into their position. Okay, so it's more difficult. This objective would be more difficult than playing it here. Number 2 coming in and finishing with an empty net. Okay, I could also throw in a couple of lines if I want to and say, right, let's go with white and say that, okay, you can't, let's throw in a couple of lines here. Okay, flat markers if you've got them. Okay, and now say, okay, you can't score unless you dribble past. That's not right. So number 2 would have to dribble past before he can score in the empty goal. Okay, why would I do, what would I do first? Would I add these in directly? Maybe not. Okay, maybe I would add the lines in afterwards. Why would I add the lines in afterwards and not from the beginning? Why would I add more conditions into the game or more limitations into the game as I go on, rather than just adding them, see what success you get at the start? I love that, David. Okay. Sometimes we design and create practices and we end up limiting the players and conditioning the players so much that there's hardly any freedom in the drill. Okay. This will enhance number 2 to dribble forward. But maybe without these lines in, so let's take these lines out, maybe there isn't an issue. So maybe they're actually dribbling and they don't need to, and there's not many chances. So the small chances that they get, okay, it's 3-3 or 4-3, and we're 20 minutes in the session. Fantastic. But what happens if, okay, 5 minutes in the session, it's 5-4, okay, and everybody's shooting from here? I love that as well, Paul. Awesome. So before we condition a drill, which we love doing, by the way, me included, okay, to try and enhance our playing style, before we do that, let's see what happens. Okay, so sometimes we want to lay down a lot more material than necessary. So I always believe, I'm going to throw in just another quick question. When you plan a drill, which of you stick to what you've planned and which of you go off the rail? Okay, so just 2 options. I stick to plan, off the rail. Answer in the chat. Go. Stick to plan or off the rail? Do you normally stick to the plan exactly how you've designed it, no matter what? Or do you end up doing something completely different? What are you, more one side or more the other? Sometimes it off the rail, stick to plan. Okay, good. More. Off the rail or stick to plan? We've got David's off the rail, Paul's off the rail. Stu sometimes goes along as ideas pop into the head. Okay, Hakan sticks to his plan. Cool. What else? Who else? Come on. At the moment, we've got more people that are going off the rail. Who's really OCD with their sessions and their plans and doesn't like to change them at all? Would rather coach the players into understanding exactly what's going on and what's needed and what wants, and loves a challenge. And as if players to have success or struggle, 100%, 100%. And this is, I think, one of the most difficult things about coaching is trying to find that balance between the drill being challenging and the drill being boring and too easy. Okay. If these players, might be 12 years old or 10 years old, they might just start lumping it. I've seen it all the time. Players, you set up a drill and then number 3 gets it, because he thinks he's special. Maybe he is special, but he thinks he's extra special. And every time he gets it, he just knocks it over number 2's head and puts it in the net. Okay. And that can go on for 5 minutes. No problem. Stick in our lines. Like so. Now you have to dribble over the line before you can shoot. So we're enhancing the number 3. Instead of getting it and lumping it, now he has to beat number 2. Or he can beat him with his movement, or he can beat him in a 1v1. Okay? But when I'm with a new group of players, I don't know how they play. So it might not be necessary, to add in loads of lines and loads of conditions, because they might take the drill really seriously and it might be fantastic. And that freedom for them to decide when to go long. I also don't want players, if they've got space, if number 3 has space, imagine that it's 0-0 and we've been going for, 4 minutes. Okay. And number 3 finally finds a pocket of space and decides to have a long shot. And it's 1-0 up. And they end up winning, 3-2. Why would I want to tell 3 that he has to dribble over the line every single time? You understand what I mean? So sometimes the group of players determine whether you need to condition it or whether you don't. Okay. And also with one group of players, it can work one way. And with another group of players, it can work a completely different way. Doesn't mean that the drill is good for a day and then it's absolute rubbish. Players make the drill. Okay. And sometimes we need to adapt it to the players. So as I said, if 3's shooting from here every single time, I adapt the drill. If 3 isn't shooting from here and the ball's moving about, it's popping about, and number 9 drops it to 7 and 7 has a shot from here, and it's a really nice bit of play, awesome. That's what I want. Okay. So I don't need to change it. Don't need to adjust it. Awesome. Good. Quick question. We're doing this now for a group of players which are struggling to keep possession of the ball. Okay, so there's not been a lot of chances created. There's not a load of width. Everybody just keeps on piling up and losing possession, and it goes backwards and forwards and there, and then we lose it, and it goes there, then it goes there, and nobody's having any shots at the goal. Nobody's getting into this area. How would you adapt the drill without saying, it was a rubbish drill? How would you adapt the drill for it to be easier for the players? Okay, so now we're thinking about, we've got this drill and it's not going well. We're 5 minutes in and players just keep on losing the ball. They're not a great group of players. They're mixed ability. And, if we're focusing on a style of playing attacking football and we don't score, if neither team scores in 5 minutes, we've got an issue. Okay, the drill is too difficult. It's identifying when the drill is too difficult, when the drill is too easy. What happens if it's too difficult? We've set this up, which seems quite simple, but we're with a group of 10s. All right. How can we then adapt the drill now for this drill suddenly to be easier for the players to get to their objective? We might go back to this later on, but we're finding that it's too difficult. We're not succeeding. Take out all rules and may give a free game. Okay. Put a wide channel in for those players wide. Free tackles, love that, to help the player in possession. Boy, they're all coming in. Love it. Love the interaction. Awesome. To help the player keep possession, create a zone box where the receiving player can't be tackled. Love that. Maybe put boxes, areas for only a minimum, maximum. Good. Okay. Awesome. Right. I think there's a lot of adding on zones and taking away zones. Okay. The only issue I have with that, okay, which they're all fantastic ideas and they would all probably work. But the only issue I have with that is I'm already 5 or 7 minutes into the drill and I want a quick fix. Okay. If I need to start laying cones down, I might lose the players a little bit. They're already 5 minutes in. I don't want to lose another 2 minutes because I might only be doing it for 12 minutes. So what is the quickest fix I can create to simplify this drill without laying down any cones, without modifying the drill at all? So the setup needs to be the same, just with the players. Certain players can't be tackled. Fantastic. Awesome. Like that. Okay. More. Let's go. So we can't lay down any more equipment. All we've got is what we've got on the pitch, and we need to make a quick fix in 30 seconds. So I need to first identify, hang on a minute, I'm doing an objective. We're not getting even close here. So I need the players, you know, they're going to get frustrated in a minute. So I need to help them, both teams, to create more chances, get more width and be in 1v1 situations where they feel more comfortable. Overload one team. Fantastic. Certain players can't be tackled. Fantastic. Each player assigned to one player to create a 1-2-1. Each player assigned to one player. Okay, yep. Floating players work with the team in possession. Fantastic. That would, from my point of view, probably be the easiest fix and the quickest fix to say, right, which players have we got? Number 6 in midfield. Let's put a yellow on you. And number 6 of the red team, let's put a yellow on you. Okay, so now we're in a situation where the players that are on the ball, okay, and I can do this in 2 different ways. I could do this, okay, I could do this, I could do this and just leave it inside, okay, I could do this, okay, so just by putting 2 bibs on and thinking about what I want to get from the team, if everybody's crunched up on one side, maybe this is the best option because this will give them width. Maybe if they're just lacking a little, you know, that overload inside the pitch, I like to have them inside, honestly. I like to have them inside because 9 times out of 10 when they're outside here, they stand still, okay? And, you know, where's the freedom? And they end up not wanting to be floaters. So I like to have them involved. Can they score goals? Oh, yes. I love that. This is another thing that I don't get, you know, floaters can't score. Great being a floater, isn't it? You know, the most interesting thing about a game of football is being able to score. If you take that away, you know, okay, fine. And then a team ends up dominating. Cool. So maybe now a team's dominating. I say number 6 and number 6, every 2 times they touch the ball, it needs to be 1 touch. So I can have one touch and then take the ball and dribble as much as I want. Okay, so I can also put limitations on these 2 floaters, all right, because I want them to fall into pockets. Another one I like as well, if there's a half-time one, is in our own half, we want 2 touches. In the opposite half, we want freedom. What am I trying to enhance with that? So imagine we've got a halfway line in there. Just down there. Halfway line. Okay. So, or just a cone at here and cone at the end. 1v1, not one. Yeah, I got you, David. Yeah, makes sense. So what am I trying to do? If I say in our own half, 2 touch. In the opposition's half, freedom. You can do whatever you want. As many touches as you want. What am I trying to enhance with that? Would that be related in any way to our style of play? Forward play quickly? Yep. Getting the ball into the attacking half? Yep. Dribbling in the final third? Yep. Creativity? I like that. Okay. Plus, there's a lot of coaches. I mean, I particularly like players to feel comfortable dribbling in their own half as well. You know, that's just my personal opinion. But there's a lot of coaches out there that want dribbling in the opposition's half, which makes total sense as well. You know, further away you are from your goal, the higher risk you take. Fine, fair enough. Okay. So this would be a drill now that enhances a lot just by its conditions. Forward play, we wanted forward play. So if I do that by having two halves, they're going to get the ball forward quickly because they want to take freedom of touches. And this player, instead of receiving it here, is going to, oh God, I'm a nightmare with these lines. So if a player's here and he's going to receive it here, he's going to rather receive it here, isn't he? Okay. Likewise, if he does receive it here, he's going to dribble forward into that. He's going to take a touch forward. So we're putting into the mind, let's get forward if you can. If you've got space, get forward. If not, you play it back, you go the other way. And then we go here, and then this player is enhanced to dribble forward, okay, and to play forward. Okay, and then in here, everybody's going to launch in, aren't they? Because they want to take part in that area. Even the centre-backs are going to bring forward. So is this related to what we want in our game on Saturday? Do we want to get players into the opposition half? So the drill is already telling them a lot of relations with what we want. Okay, we want width as well, so we can go in here and end up creating situations in here. You can draw more lines or less lines. My advice, always start simple and progress it as you go on. Right, now, quick question. We've got two options, all right? I had as well planned drill focusing on an opposition. So rather than focusing on ourselves, creating a drill focused on, okay, the opposition plays this way, how can we set up defensively? Got two options. We can go into creating another drill and focusing on the opposition. Okay, so we're going to exactly the same, but now we're going to focus on preparing ourselves for the opposition. Or we can go into a longer Q&A about whatever you want. And we can play about with this drill and whatnot. What do you prefer? Or neither of the two. And you're bored already. Up to you. If you've had enough, that's enough. That's fine. Just say, had enough. If you want to focus on the drill defending on the opposition. Okay. So, David, out of possession. Good, like that. Planning for the opposition. Okay. So, we've got two at the moment. 30 seconds. We're going to start from scratch as well, okay? So we're going to try and, first of all, think about our opposition, and then we're going to jump on. Right, just for David and Paul, because you've jumped in first. Let's get going. Good. Right, so, first of all, guys and girls, we need to think about our opposition. So we're now going to play against our style of play. All right? So we're going to play against a team that wants to play forward quickly. All right. We're going to play against a team that loves 1v1s in the opposition half. We're going to play against a team that is forward thinking and likes to gain possession of the ball. Fantastic. Right. So in this case scenario, if we're focusing on defending, I personally don't need to start again. Yes, that's all right. We'll just rub it out. Good. Good. Let's get all these out of the way. Same amount of players. And some goalkeepers as well. Right, okay. So we're now setting up to play against our own style of play. Okay. First of all, we need to decide is if the other team plays forward quickly, and by the look of it, passes and dribbles, do we want to press them in their own half, or do we want to reduce space and wait in our half? Go. You got a game this weekend, and you're thinking about, okay, we know how this team plays. How are we gonna get the ball back? What style of play are we going to use? defensively? How are we going to get the ball back? Forget about what's on right now, meaning all this. We're just going to move this about while I set up the goal. Good question. I'm thinking low block. Okay, so we're going to go with a low block. Mid to low block. Press on their half. Okay, so this is the question we need to make to ourselves. Okay, high press. See, this is great. You know, we've got mixed thoughts on how we would deal with that's a great thing about coaching. Okay, so we're gonna if we can stop them from getting into. Yeah, I agree with that. So if they normally play two touch in their own half, or they move the ball quickly and they get the ball forward quickly, okay, and they like to dribble in our half, do we want to allow them to come into our half, or do we want to try and get the ball back in their half? It will depend a lot on the players that we've got in our team. Okay, so there's no right or wrong answer. Those that have said high press, those that have said low block, it will depend on the players that we have in our team. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to decide, I'm going to decide we're going to go for high press. Okay, why? Because we think that this team, plays quick but hasn't got a lot of quality at the back to play in reduced areas. We think that our players, if they get the ball back closer to their goal, we can be a little bit more efficient. We're also going to locate the left side of their back four is their weakest spot, so they don't play football very well, or let's just say that they've got lower ability than the other side. So let's set up our Man City team. Okay. Once again, there's nothing wrong with doing this in a low block. I'm just trying to create a scenario where and try and make us think about what we're trying to do. So let's start with the back four. Where's number 3? What's he doing? Right, number 3, 4, 5, and we've got 9 up here, 10, 7 out there. Okay. It's got 3, 4. There, 2's over there. Okay, let's just set up the lines. The same number of players. Right, should we put floaters in or not at the beginning? What do you think? Do we go with floaters at the beginning or without? Without. No. Good. Okay. Because it might be the closer we can get to reality, the more time we can spend doing something that they're going to be doing. Let's do it. The time we spend in condition sessions is to eventually get to this. If we don't get to the reality, then, we're training something that is not going to happen. A player isn't conditioned in a match. So we want him maybe conditioned for a while until he gets used to something, but we want to eventually get to this. So until I know if my players can do this or not, the more conditions we put in, the more dangerous it is. So if they were focusing on attacking down the middle and with width, we want to learn how to defend it. So straight away, I need to add in some objectives for the opposite team related to their style of play. So mini goal in there. Mini goal in there. Cool. Also, we don't want them playing down the middle. So we want higher penalisation if they dribble through there. Okay? So between that gap, if they dribble through here, okay, they score 2. Because obviously we want these guys to protect the middle, yes or yes, if they have a decision to make, whether to let them go wide down there. Do we want them shooting down there? Should we put a line in yet or not? What do you guys think? Should we condition the team to having to cross a line, allow Okay, thoughts? Should we put a line in? No line? Should we put any zones in? What do you think? What conditions would you add for this drill? Any conditions? Remember as well, we think that these players, okay, are their weakest. Okay? Let it develop. I like that. What I am going to do, though, is because the two players, I'm going to throw in a line down here. And now I'm going to explain why. Okay. So I'm going to throw in a line down there. All right. Why am I going to throw a line down there? Is because we're going to create two zones. And what I'm going to put is zone 2, zone 1, and here, zone 2. Okay. So I've got zone 1, all of this side. Okay. Zone 2, all of this side. All right. So I am going to throw that in from the beginning. Okay. Who can guess why I want a line down the middle here? And two different zones. So I've got two different zones. Why do I want zone 1 and zone 2? What for? Okay, so why players can't cross their respective zones? Good guess. I like that. More. Would that be helping the blue team or the red team? Or both? Players get thinking about the weaker side and exploit. I like that, Paul. Good. Okay. Natalie, I like that as well. The wide players can't cross their respective zones. So this player, number 2, we don't want him going past the halfway line. Okay. So defensively, he doesn't leave too much space. I like that. Good. Any others? Any other guesses? Why do we divide the pitch in 2? To keep balance defensively. Fantastic. I like that. Mentioned before. Can I condition one team and not the other team? Okay, so if I'm focusing on the Reds, and I want them really to think about it, but then again, if I condition the Blues to work better defensively, am I hurting the Reds? Or am I helping the Reds? Because at the end of the day, once again, if we focus on both teams here, if I focus on the Blues and I focus on the Reds, what happens is, if I make the Blues better, there's a less chance of my team gaining confidence towards the weekend at my playing style. So I want to help the Reds, okay, get to a point where there's freedom, okay? And if the Blues make mistakes, really, that's what I want to create. So I don't really want to condition these Blues too much, okay? I want them to have freedom of play, and hopefully, in any case, if I limit them, it's to create more chances for my team so they gain confidence in what they're doing. If I set this up and the blue team is the one that has the ball and we don't get the ball back and they score and I'm focusing on the red team defensively, it's a terrible it's great playing out from the back from the Blues, but that wasn't my objective. So that's where we try and reflect and say, hang on a minute, what was my objective inside this? The Blues are pumping it around, imagine, and this happens, and it's happened to me as well. I set up a drill and then Blues start going bang, 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 go, and then they go bang, 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 go, bang, bang, and the Reds are 3-0 down, and I'm thinking, oh no, we're going to set up like this at the weekend. Maybe I would change then and say a low block. Okay, so the drills can also tell you, maybe that style of play isn't often, but all of the goals. Sorry, just turn this phone off. So so for example, if this goes into zone 2 and they've scored 5 down this side, okay, what can I do to make them play down this side? What conditions could I add in to make them play more down this side? Okay, what could I do? What conditions? Keeping as much freedom as I possibly can. Okay, I want to keep as much freedom as I possibly can. Okay, but I want to try and force them down that weaker side. All right, so now I've added in a line which can almost help me with, okay, they're scoring more down this side than they are down that side. Okay, so I keep notes of that. What else? The ball starts in that side. Awesome. So the starting point, essential. So number 9, stand here when the goal kick's going off. Okay. Number 9, stand here when the starting point. 2, just give the ball to number 5. Okay, so the starting point is number 5 having the ball. All right. 9, do not let him pass the ball. Okay, so this could be an individual little hint for number 9, or an individual objective. If number 5 passes the ball to number 4, you get down and give me a press up. 1, doesn't need to be massive. You get down every time you pass the ball across. You get down and give me 1 press up. And you can laugh about it. It's fine. Okay, but I'll tell you one thing. After he's done 2 press ups, he will not let the ball go that way. All right. Another way of doing it without being using physical conditioning as punishment is zone 1. Okay, so if we can get the ball back in zone 1 and score, it's worth 3. If you get the ball back here, it's worth 1. Okay, so I'm enhancing the fact that we want to get the ball back in here, lads. So everybody's going to really press a lot harder, okay, in here. Can they play it there? Yeah, they can play it there. Okay. Likewise, I can say if they score in here, it's worth 2 goals. So suddenly the attitude of the players is this side. When the ball comes in, we need to press high. We need to not allow them to play forward. We need to be tight. Okay. Can't score in the same goal twice. Okay, I like that as well. The only thing I have with that is okay, so if we score in here, David, if we score in here, all these players just go like this. Because they're clever. Once again, I mean, especially when you get into 18s and their attitude sometime, and they just do this, and this team suddenly does that. They don't use this space, which that might not be the case. There's some teams that, I'm just saying, in the worst case scenario, it's happened to me. This is why I've learned as I've done these different sessions. It's because they're clever. So the more limitations we add in. Okay, so if you score here, we want the play, if they can, to go here again and score, because we want realism in the team. We want them to set up to push the game this way. We want to give freedom firstly to this side, because that's what I want my team to do on Saturday. Okay, so if I'm just going back to what David said, saying that you can go this way, but you can't go this way. On Saturday, they can go this way, and they can go this way, and they can go this way, and they can go this way every single time they want. Okay, so sometimes we can add in limitations or conditions to the drill which are not doing us a favor. Okay, they might work. I'm not saying that they won't work. I'm just saying that in the mind of the players, this red team, what do we want them to think? First thing, they need to play down this side. Second thing, get tight. Okay, do not let them get into this goal. Do not let them get through here. Okay, and don't let them switch it. Okay, number 9's got a job. He's got a mission. Okay, I like the way of increasing value by moving one side. So zone 1, for example, imagine, okay, we're just going to add in this last bit and then I'll leave you guys. It's a lot of information to take in. Imagine that, these players, when they get, high press, they try and exploit the space behind us. Okay, and they start lumping it in there. All right. Or number 9 goes a bit deeper and starts, creating all sorts of problems because we're in our own half. This wouldn't be offside in 11-a-side football. Okay. So number 9 starts creating all sorts of problems. They push on. Number 2 and number 3 are clever and they push on as well to create more space. Okay. And this starts happening. Okay. So it's now a 3v1. Okay. It's now 3v1 with number 9. And if they're clever enough, they just go back to the keeper and out the other side. So how can we now protect teams that have got players at the back that play long balls, which more often than not, believe it or not, in Spain, as soon as it gets into lower league, we're talking about adult seniors, most teams try and attract the attention of the players. So they say number 9 and exploit the space that they leave behind them. Okay. So what can I say now? I can say if the ball bounces, because this is another zone. Okay, let's just make sure that we know. Zone 3. So this is zone 3 now, okay, across the whole lot. Forget about this divided. So let's just make it clear because it can easily be. So now it'll be like this. Okay, up to there. Like this. Okay, so we've got zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So this player says, okay, I'm under pressure, so I launch it, and it goes into number 9. What I say now, what I can condition this area to be is if the ball bounces, okay, inside zone 3, it's a point to the Blues, okay? So if he decides to launch it, and it comes in here, and he controls it, and number 4 doesn't get on him, all right? That's a point to the Blues. Or it's worth double. So he receives it in here, lays it off, and number 3 comes in and scores. That's worth double. Okay. So by this, I'm now making them think about, okay, a little bit more. We might need a little bit more protection here. Okay. Now we need to start thinking about the second ball as well. If Reds win it, okay, and it goes to a player, then it's worth double as well. So the ball comes in here, number 4 wins it, goes to number 6. Can we transition, score, and that's worth double as well. So now I'm also saying to the players, in here, we need to be a little bit ruthless. We need to be aggressive, and we need to, okay, this no longer thinking about maybe players at the age of 10, 12. We're now thinking about maybe the 16s, 17s, okay, that might be thinking about long balls going behind them. Okay, so now by just creating that zone there, what we've done is made them very, very aware that the long balls, okay, need to be protected at the back. All right. So that would mainly, but once again, going back to the playing style that we created, there was no long balls. So this scenario, we might not need to work on. All right. We're just saying that, okay, maybe there's another team that do hit it long. Okay. Right, so that's it's been an hour now. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly do 10 minutes to, if it's okay with you. If anybody's got any questions, if anybody wants to, throw in a bit of anything they want, happy to hear. If you've got any questions about anything related to practices, anything related to session plans, anything related to, because I think, it's a lot of information to take in, and also it's all about you guys as well, then thinking about, what's my personal playing style, and are my sessions or are my practices designed around what I want to get at the weekend? Is anyone still there? Or has everybody fallen asleep? Have you used any other software apart from Tactical Pad? I struggle with usage. Right, I think there's one called Tactical Soccer Board, if I'm not mistaken. There's another one. There's movesboard.com. Football DNA also have a drawing application, which I'll let Stu go into detail with. So if you've got any questions on that as well, there's also a tool on Football DNA to create designs like this. I would normally animate these drills and then send them to the players before the session, so they've got an idea of what we're working on and what movements I want to see from them. But obviously that's just particular tactics manager, I suggest. Okay, there you go. If any of you guys as well have any software that you use, just throw it in the group. It's all to help each other. But obviously, as I say, if I'm not mistaken, with your membership of Football DNA, you've also got a tool. Anything else?
Thanks, Harry. I think you got a bit carried away there, didn't you? Got into it. It's great to see all the interaction in the chat.
Yeah, hopefully it's brought some thoughts to reflect on, really. Yeah. No, well, you know me. I mean, I design them all day. So as soon as I get into a rhythm.
Yeah, Harry's let a little secret out there. Harry's been testing the Football DNA kind of drill builder for us, which is hopefully be ready very soon. And that'll be released when it's ready, not long now. But yeah, we use Tactical Pad to animate our drills. Harry uses it a lot. As part of your membership, you can get a discount with Tactical Pad, and that's on your My Account page when you log into the website. I would definitely recommend it. It's easy to use, and the results that we get out have been great. So I think that wraps it about up, Harry. Thanks for your time. Thanks to everyone for joining us and being so open and interactive on the chat. It's definitely made it a more enjoyable and a more interactive webinar, which I think has been great. Just finally, if you want to follow Harry, his username is @CoachCosson on social media. He does post a lot of free content as well, which is really good. So definitely give him a follow. You'll pick up some ideas through his different platforms. Naeem, he's just got a question. Harry, what do you to do when you have a smaller space to work with? How do you do that session we just worked on? Quite a good question,
that is a massive question, because it'll be great to always have unlimited resources, but it's not always the case. I think, if you've got a smaller space to work on, use the space efficiently, meaning, there's sometimes where you can be 3 or 4 coaches on the same pitch. Try and, if you got, once you're planning your session at home, speak to the other coaches and see how much space they're going to use up. There's a lot of situations where coach is only using a quarter of the space that he has, or try and get to an agreement, because there's normally people from the same club, where if you want to work on something with a bit more space that week, have it planned with the other coach and vice versa. And it's all depends on, what playing style you have and the age group as well. But we can easily get into really tight spaces where we don't get to our objective. Because the players don't have enough time on the ball, so we need sometimes to be able to use a little bit more space up. I would recommend one, if that space is available at any point, asking about it. Also conversing with colleagues that are in the same coaching environment and seeing if you can, one day use each other's the space slightly up in different moments of the session, and. Take players out as well. You can have like 3 teams rather than 2, so there's a little bit more space for the players. It's a hard one, space is space. There's not much. I would say if you need more space, you need to take players and maybe put them on the outside rather than having everybody inside. Yeah,
On that one there, Harry, I think you could probably scale that down, couldn't you? Just to use one side of the pitch.
Yeah. This one, for example, you use one side of the pitch.
Players in.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. You rotate players in and out. So if you've got slightly smaller, maybe you could do a 4v4 and you have 4 other players, doing a rondo on the outside, or doing some conditioning work, or doing just some, kick-ups and whatnot while they're waiting, or focusing on the session. I mean, if it's not too cold. But yeah, so that's always a tough one when you don't have enough space.
Okay, great. Yeah, so if you've got any questions, feel free to email them to info@footballdna.co.uk, or I'm sure if you want to message Harry directly or tweet or Instagram him, I'm sure he'll get back to you. Thanks again, everyone, for your time. And this will be available to rewatch either next week or the week after. Thanks, Harry. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.